So if you guys are a current addict, drug addict, cigarette addict, coffee, soda, whatever, or you were once upon a time, please stay and listen to this. It probably would pertain to you. So I'm a recovered alcoholic. I was an alcoholic for 10 years, and I'm sober 2.5 years now. It's not that long, but that's a really big deal for me, as I'm sure it is with anybody who struggles with addiction. So if you know anybody, or you are that person, and you have ever had an experience with God or Jesus, whether that be, you didn't believe and something happened and now you do, or you believed and then something happened and now you don't. I think God has revealed to me why a lot of addicts have personal experiences with Him versus just reading the Bible and going to church. For those of you who don't know about the mark of the beast, essentially it's something that we're going to have to possess in order to buy or sell after the Antichrist comes into power, which sorry, I'm struggling with this line up here. We are on our way to that right now. Everything happening with the administration and across the entire world is prophesied to happen around the time that the Antichrist comes and the mark of the beast is rolled out. And without this mark, which is believed to be, it's something to do with the right hand of the forehead. Most people think it's like a chip. It could be a electronic tattoo. Not really sure. If you don't have that, you can't buy, sell, or trade. You will die if you don't get it. And you will get it unless you have a relationship with God, because it's your survival. Well, I had a personal experience where I got to meet Jesus. For those of you who don't believe me, that's fine. I'm not here to convince you. I'm here to share my story. And it changed me forever. And he kind of showed me the reason a lot of addicts get these experiences is because when you are struggling with an addiction, usually harder stuff, heroin, meth, alcohol, the hard stuff, more so than like coffee, cigarettes, sugar, you'll do anything to get that fix. And when I say anything, I mean almost anything. I would spend my last few, and I mean like my very last few dollars on alcohol. I would return cans and bottles. I would return my change. I would sell my expensive personal belongings. It was very hard, to say the least. I'm so thankful that he brought me out of it. But that's just for alcohol. I mean, we all know that there's people out there who are willing to sell their bodies and just to do some things that they would not do had they not been addicted to a substance. Completely out of their character. And the reason for that is because as you become addicted to something, scientifically, the way that your brain works changes. You no longer have the same kind of survival instincts that a non-addict would have. If you're putting really bad stuff in your body, those survival instincts have been gone for a while. And so with that, you'd be willing to do anything. And even if you know what the mark is, and you do believe in Jesus and God, when that mark comes, if you're addicted to a heavy substance, and possibly even the other ones, coffee, nicotine, coffee, sugar, shopping, anything that you have to spend money on, you will probably get the mark. At least the majority of people will. God does work miracles, and He will probably save many people the day that they were going to get it. You know what I mean? Can't pretend to know what He's going to do. But I think that's why He lets us see Him. Because He, if we're meant to be His children, and if in the end we are His children, we accept Him into our hearts, we admit Jesus is the Messiah, all this stuff, but we're addicted to something, we will talk ourselves into getting the mark. We will try to use logic, addict's logic, to explain to ourselves that it's not the mark and that it's safe. And, Uncle Bobby and Uncle Billy and Jilly Joe Bob, or whatever, I don't know. All of my loved ones ones are getting it, I'm going to get it too. And had they not been an addict, they wouldn't have done that. He wants to give every one of his kids a chance to be with him and to be redeemed and to live forever, you know. And I think he's aware of what happens to us when we become addicted to a substance like that. And for anybody out there who says it's a choice, this, you can leave, because it's not a choice. And if that's what you think, you've never had somebody that you love who would literally not eat to have a fix, who would not pay rent to have a fix, who would go sell their bodies to have a fix, who would sometimes kill people for that fix. You change when you're addicted to stuff like that. And I believe that he knows, and he wants to give us an opportunity to be wiped clean of said addiction so we can start over with him. And I know, personally, I know quite a few people who have been addicted to some harder and some, you know, easier stuff, who've had experiences with him that never even thought about him before they were addicted to something. And I'm not saying becoming addicted is a blessing, because it's not. But God does use terrible situations for his good. That being said, how many people out there have had experiences throughout their addiction? How many people have been able to become sober or to quit whatever it was because of something that they experienced with him? Do you know anybody who you love who passed away because of an addiction, and they you know, didn't prioritize him, or they were too hard into it, you know? That mark is right around the corner, and it's, I don't want to say that I'm not afraid, because I think that every human should be. I have a very big sense of peace because I know who my father is and where I came from and where I'm going. But if you're somebody who's struggling with this right now, or if you know somebody struggling with this right now, be patient with them. Be patient with yourself. Make sure you're feeding yourself. Make sure that person is fed. Go out of your way to show them love. Especially if you're a Christian. I can't even say Christian anymore. That word means nothing now. Especially if you have a relationship with God and Jesus. That is your duty to represent him the correct way. And he would absolutely do it. And that little bit of love that they could receive, or that you could give yourself, could actually be what causes the healing that needs to happen. I pray for everybody out there, addicts and non-addicts. I pray for every believer and non-believer. We're coming into the days now where every minute of your day is going to count. And what you do with those minutes could be the make or break. There's too much hatred in this world. And I really think that we need to prioritize being loving like Christ was. And I struggle with that, especially when I get emotional, mad, frustrated, irritated, whatever. I can be a jerk. I always feel guilty about it after and try to make amends. But, I mean, that doesn't eliminate the action. Comment on this. Share it with somebody who you know who's going through this, or knows, you know, kind of what it feels like. I would like to get interaction on this so that it does go far and wide. I do believe this is something a lot of people can relate to, and I'm sure a lot of people need to hear it. I don't come up with this stuff by myself, guys. This is not coming from me. So please like, comment, share, do the whole shebang so that a lot of people can see this. Thank you.